Hello. Okay, so my name is Miss Angel, and I am just teaching kind of a practice video for the good and the beautiful. It's level 3, and it's lesson 5 with UI. So it says to start having the kids read pages 3 and 4 of their I Sat by the Sea poetry book. And then to help them sound out the words, I'm not going to do that right now, but that's what I would start with. And then we will practice the, let's see, it's like backwards. So for me, so we'll practice the challenge words for, it says 3 to 5 minutes total. So we'll, however long it takes for 3 to 5 minutes with those, however far we get. And then, so that is in their appendix. So I'll have them turn to that, or if they have that somewhere. Otherwise, I will have to like figure out holding it up so they can see it. I'll even take it out of this plastic so it's not like, so it's easier. Let me see, where am I holding this? There we go. I don't know if that is kind of hard to see. Hopefully they have that because it should be in their book. It says appendix, so they can look it up. It's on page 313 and 314. And then I will have them practice on this page. It's on page 11. It says, I'll read this. Let's practice words where UI makes the oo sound. I'm going to time you while you read the words on the clouds. We will keep practicing the words until you can read them in 45 seconds or less. When you read all the words on the clouds in 45 seconds or less, you may draw raindrops and lightning bolts in the blank area under the clouds. So I'll show them. Like, here's the clouds. So when you have read 45 seconds, you can draw like lightning bolts and raindrops and whatever you want on the clouds. So we'll do that for, we'll go through and I'll have I need to get one of those kids timers, but I'll just use my phone for now. I used to have one, but then I moved and like all my stuff got, I don't know where it is, so I need to get one. And then we will do, so the next part underneath, oh my goodness, backwards, like it's just kind of confusing. Okay, so we'll do those 3 clouds, and then after they've read and then drawn the raindrops and the thunder, or not the lightning, then we'll do these ones. So it says, the letter combination UI can also make several other sounds, such as the long I and short I sounds. So that would be I and it. So let's practice some words that use these sounds. I'm going to time you while you read the words on the clouds. We will keep practicing the words until you can read them in 30 seconds or less. So it's going to be 30 seconds instead of 45 seconds. So I'll just change that on the timer. And then when you read all the words on the clouds in 30 seconds or less, you may draw a rainbow, a sun, and birds in the blank area around and under the clouds. And guile, one of these words on this cloud at the top, means trickery. So if somebody is being guiled, they're using trickery. So they're having guile. Okay, so then we'll do that. I'll time them. They'll read. When they get 30 seconds, then they can draw a rainbow or a sun. The next one is geography. And so we'll talk about, look right here. And so it says the Earth has 7 continents, which are main areas of land. The equator, which is this red line right here, is an imaginary, so the equator is an imaginary line drawn around the planet. It divides it into 2 halves. The northern hemisphere is above the equator, and the southern hemisphere is below the equator. On the blank map below, which is this one, label each continent and color it the color of your choice. Label the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So then I'll give them time for that, and then we'll answer the questions with complete sentences, it says. So, on which continent do you live? And so we'll talk about that, and I'll help them write a sentence with that. And then, do you live in the northern or southern hemisphere? And then I'll help them with that. I live in the whatever hemisphere. So the next part is the spelling. So they have pattern practice, which I think this is from the lesson before. I was trying to look through and see. So they have lamb, thumb, comb, num, climb, and crumb. And then they've got to fill them in to each of the sentences so I can help them go over. My left toe is still, and then we can look at all the words and we'll figure out which word goes into each sentence. And then we'll go on to the homophones. It's really crazy going backwards. I'm still getting used to it. Okay, but you can see this, right? Because that's why I did this. So homophones are words that sound the same, but they mean different things when they're spelled differently. So wear, W-E-A-R, is like you're wearing something, like I'll wear a hat. And where, W-H-E-R-E, is like where is he? Where is that? Where? It's like a time and space. So it's like where? And then wear, like I'm wearing a sweater today. Okay, and then it has, I don't know if they've done this or not, the poetry memorization. So it says that they should have a 3x5 card with a poem that they are working on memorizing. So if they have that, we'll work on that. If not, then we'll talk about that and see if we can pick a poem for them to memorize if they haven't yet. If they have, like I said, then they can do that. We could even look at one of the poems that we read, earlier on this, if they wanted to do that. And then we have targeted spelling words right here. So it's also on a 3x5 card. It says if you lost the card, have your parent or teacher use page 5 to create a new one. So I did not look at that part yet. That's, I think, the only part I didn't look at yet. So they will read each word on their card and then spell it aloud in a whisper. And then they'll read the word and spell it aloud, clapping with each letter. And then write the word twice wherever you want on the doodle lines and patterns below. So they've got to write the words twice on this part. So wherever they want to write. And then it's time for them to do personal reading. So after class, they'll go and find a book that's on their level from the Good and Beautiful book list, and they'll read 20 minutes. And that's about it. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea. And sorry this is so late, but it's been a crazy couple of days over here. So it's finally like quiet enough to teach and not be interrupted and all of that. So thank you for your consideration, and we'll talk to you later.